is a soul path reading for the crystal heart. And I do actually have a crystal heart here. This is one of my crystals. This is my rose quartz heart. And then I also have my, I think this is aura quartz or something like that. And I have here my selenite wand. So there's a lot of kind of higher, gentler, more angelic energies coming in for this reading. And even at the beginning, when I created the sacred space, I was feeling to call on a lot of angelic energies to come in to the circle, which I created for protective space. And I surrounded myself and then you in positive energy with the crystal heart here. Okay, so your code name came in really, really quickly, actually. So only a few things came in when I was retrieving the code name and surrounding you with protective energy for the reading. Okay, so the first thing that was coming in was this energy on wrong shoulder, this shoulder, the left shoulder. And shoulders, the left side is feminine normally, and shoulders tend to have to do with ancestry or parents or someone coming before you. And so there were some blocks here on this left shoulder, and this felt like, what I call generational thought form. So kind of like, a thought form is like a belief, to put it very, very basically. We have a video about thought forms, but to put it very basically, it's like a programming that a person has. A generational thought form or generational programming would mean that it's coming from somebody before you. And so this was on the mother's side, and it felt like some beliefs that were coming from her. And some of this, there was also a feeling of her father, actually. So your grandfather, and that some beliefs had passed to you from him as well, but it didn't feel like directly. It felt like, again, this idea that some beliefs passed to your mother from her father, and then some beliefs passed to you from the mother. And I'm just gonna leave that there. I know that your mom might watch this reading as well, and so she might even, I don't know, something might even come to her about that, because that just came in very quickly and not a lot of details about it, or maybe they'll digress more about that. I'm not sure. Some of it had to do with, but some of this felt like a positive thing, actually. There was also a feeling of your mother kind of giving you direction and guidance. And some of it felt kind of logical. It felt kind of like, okay, you have these interests, you would want to go into this type of field or something like that, or these areas of interest, and almost this feeling that you already kind of plan ahead a bit for your life and where you would want it to lead, and that even though you're very young, you have some general areas of interest that you kind of already have a knack for, and you kind of have a hunch that, hey, this is more what I would want to do with my life. This is kind of the areas that I would want to go into. And so there is kind of this logical way of sort of making that happen, and some of that passes down to you, but even though logic can sometimes be limiting, in this way it feels like a positive thing. that could help you. It's in this way, it's planning ahead. So this isn't whatever block was there, whatever block I was feeling. This isn't so much it, because in this way it feels like uh, direction, general direction for your life, and that you kind of have a head on your shoulders in that way, and also that you're being guided, that you're being helped to think things through, to plan ahead, to think of things like colleges and stuff like that. And I don't recommend college for everyone. I didn't go, but when it comes to an area, right, that you would need college for, that you need a degree for. I certainly don't need a degree to give a reading, but for certain things you would need that for. There is also a feeling of during your mom's reading, during one of her readings, there was so much animal energy coming through, and that was one thing that popped in right away as well. Was also with you a feeling of animals, and that was that could even be a field of interest for you, and that you definitely have a bond with animals. And then right away there was this bird that was coming in, and it just looked like it was sitting on your shoulder, and it had some kind of light coloring with it. I'm not sure if it was like a light blue or a white, and I think I saw some yellow in there as well. And it was just resting on your shoulder. So I don't know if this is a pet you currently have, or a pet that's passed, or simply it just some energy coming in that's saying hi, it's guiding you. But this energy felt more like an energy that's actually with you and around you. Okay, now I've got some other energies coming in, but I'll get to those in a second. Then you had another bird all of a sudden that I was seeing, but this felt distinctly different from the other one because this felt like a totem. And so a totem normally comes in more temporarily to just like give you a message about something. And so I went ahead here and I looked up the totem for this. It was a cardinal, so it was another bird. And okay, so this is saying it's symbolic of power, wealth, and enthusiasm, knowing what you want and how to get it. Okay, that was kind of actually what I was just saying. This is central. This is the central power of the cardinal bird. So planning and things like that, like I was just speaking about. And then it also says the confidence flowing from the cardinal exemplifies the recognition of its own powers and gifts and doesn't take it lightly or for granted. So another place I glanced at said something about singing your song, knowing your song and singing your song. And like the song of your soul, following your song. Okay, so your guides are saying if you want to have a passionate life, as you're asking here, you're asking here about that, how will your life be, etc. They're saying if you want to have a passionate life, they're saying then live joyously in the moment and go after something that you value, that you would want to do continuously, and that brings you joy. So they're saying make it adventurous. Okay, so what they're saying about this cardinal totem is that the cardinal totem is all about seizing opportunities. It knows its power, it knows its heart's desire, and like it said, it knows how to get what it wants. So it seizes opportunities. So they're saying your guides, I definitely have a very male guide coming in right now. Okay, I got a female guide coming in too, but then I still have this bird there as well. And for a second, I was like, is the bird turning into something humanoid? But then what I think it is I just felt something come up behind the bird, um, which did feel humanoid. And these energies do feel angelic, but at the same time, they feel very grounded and very earthly. And then at the same time, there's some planetary energies here as well. So there's definitely a mix here, but they feel very grounded, very solid. Like they have a very clear wisdom and intuition about things, where they just know things. They're very peaceful, very calm. They're a little bit subdued, but at the same time, they can get kind of, you know, passionate or excited. Um, but the reason that there's this calm feeling is because there's definitely this knowing. There's a sureness with these energies coming in. There's a very um, there's a very certain energy, like an energy of certainty with these guides coming in. Okay, I've also got a black cat that they're showing me now. This again feels kind of like a totem here, but I'm just feeling like this in general has to do with magic and mystery and with feminine energies. And so I don't feel that I need to look up this totem. They're just saying what they mean by it. But one thing about feminine energies is that they flow. They are allowing and they're receptive and they can go with a flow. And so if you're feeling something, they're also, feminine energy is also extremely intuitive because it focuses inwardly rather than outwardly. And so it's very intuitive. It's very connected to its inner guidance system. And so when you are connected to that, and then that's the two things about the feminine energy. It's connected to its inner guidance, but then at the same time, it flows. It's graceful. It's allowing. It flows. And so it feels that energy of what to do, and then it can allow it to manifest. It can allow what it's envisioning to come about. So it's all about getting in a flow, they're saying, and being receptive. But then they're saying at the same time, it is also about masculine energies, because it's about seizing opportunities. Okay, so that's why they're coming in with this cardinal and this black cat. Because they're saying to be receptive and to acknowledge a good idea, to acknowledge an opportunity, but also to act on the opportunities that are presented to you, to take advantage of them. And they're saying to be spontaneous. And they're saying that that is one thing that logic can get in the way of at times. And so they want you to be careful of that. To not ever let logic produce fear, to not ever let logic end up holding you back. They're saying in a sense, it can be there in a positive way as like a cushion almost, where you have this plan and you can fall back on this plan at any time. And so it is like a support in a way, but they're saying, but at the same time, they don't want you to limit yourself to the couch, to limit yourself to the cushion. They want you to be able to get up and seize opportunities. So they're saying, even if it seems like it's going a little bit against a plan or a rhythm. They're saying you also have to go with the flow that is in the moment and continuously coming to you, because you don't know where it will lead you. And they're saying it will be profound if you trust your intuition, and that is how you live an exciting and adventurous, passionate life. They're saying by following your intuition at any given moment, and they're saying, but at the same time, allowing logic to be there. So they're saying not to be stupid and illogical, but at the same time to not be fearful, and to bounce off of the couch, leap into the air, because they're saying the cushion can become a comfort zone if you stay there. Like, no, I have to go with the plan. I have to go with the plan. I have to do things this way. I have to do it this way, this way, this way. This is a logic becoming fear, and they're saying that is illogical. That does produce an illogical outcome, an illogical state. So they're saying to seize opportunities that are handed to you all throughout your life. If you want to have a good life, if you want to have an exciting life. They're saying that that's what excitement is. It's the surprise. It is letting go. It is doing things spontaneously and in a free way. I have this word feather coming in all of a sudden. I'm seeing feathers and they're just kind of flying all around. And that is so weird, because at the very, very beginning, before I got your code name, I just had the feather pop into my head. Almost like that would be the code name. And I'm like, why would someone's code name be the feather? Not that I haven't had some really strange code names, because I have. But anyway, I have this coming in, and there's this feeling of like being light like a feather, and like floating like a feather. And again, I'm seeing a bird, like a small bird. This feels like the one that's more kind of guiding you, and it has its little claws, and it can like hop all around, and it can catch things very quickly with its beak. And it can find things, it can find treasures. So it's hunting, but it is very light on its feet. But at the same time, it's on the ground, and it's versatile. It can be up in the air, but it can be on the ground. And so, in other words, they're also saying to be intuitive. Well, there's a balance of being intuitive and being there's a balance of being creative and being logical, but then there's this balance of, hold on here a second. Okay, that is what they're saying. They're saying that there's a balance of being intuitive and being logical. See, I was kind of pausing there because to me, there is such a thing as intuitive logic, and there's such a thing as emotional logic. And you can be a very logical person and still be very intuitive. But what they're meaning by this is that a balance of letting go, going with the flow, and going within, as opposed to being logical and being structured and focusing on duties and the tasks at hand, and things that have to be done. And then the balance of letting go and being free and being spontaneous. So they're saying that these are balances that have to be kept. And they're saying as long as it's done in a trusting way and in a fearless way, then the couch or the cushion, the pillow that you've been that you can fall onto, almost like a backup plan in a sense, does not become like your dominant territory. It doesn't become some restriction or some limit. So they never want you to feel stuck or limit yourself. They want you to have an intuitive life, a spontaneous life, and to have intuitive responses to what's at hand to produce a favorable outcome all the time. At the same time, be logical, study the things that you would need to study to excel in a field that you would want to excel in. And they like and they value that you are moving forward in that way by planning ahead and thinking ahead. And this is also something, again, I'm feeling this connection to your mom with that there's some direction coming from her. And again, that's something that they approve of. That's going to help you to get ahead. Now, they're saying as far as friends, they're saying it has to do with the right friends, the right people. They're saying that you don't want the wrong friends. You don't want friends that are going to dampen your success. In other words, they're saying. And so they're saying that you don't just want to be friends with everyone. Or they're saying, or be popular in a way like you have this large group of friends. They're saying unless it's a group of friends who are like you, who support you, who uplift you, who are into similar interests, or that the interests that they are in don't conflict with yours, or also that they're not into bad things or things that will hinder them or that could end up hindering you. They're saying, so it isn't really about having friends, it's about having the right friends. They're saying that it would really be better to be selective, to have a select smaller group of friends than to have a larger corrupt group of friends that aren't good for you. So they're saying that it's really about being smart and being intuitive. They're saying that it's best to have a best friend and to stick with that best friend no matter what. They're saying it's better to be loyal to good people who will be loyal to you, who keep their values. But what? I have to look up this word. I don't know what this means or how that pertains to anything. Definition. Okay, because they're saying this word intrinsic while they're saying values. Okay, so contained wholly within the organ on which it acts, belonging naturally essential. Okay, so in other words, so people who just, they have values just within them, and that is just a natural way that they are. It's a natural expression for them to exude values that would be similar to values that you have. And they're even saying people that you intrinsically resonate with. So people that you would just a group that you naturally belong to, that you would naturally vibe with. In other words, a group that is naturally on a similar high vibration as your own. And again, people with similar interests to you. They're saying not to have people who pull you away from your interests into negative behaviors. And they're also saying not that you would do that even, but that's something that they want you to be aware of. And they're saying especially as you continue moving forward and as you're getting older, it's important more and more to think about those things. Okay, because they're saying this is the point. Okay, right around your age and your age group, they're saying this is the point where people start getting stupid. They're saying they start doing some stupid things and veering off of their path at times, they're saying. And they're saying that you're very smart. So they're more talking about friends outside of you. And people outside of you and groups outside of you, and again, to be selective, because they're saying this is the age where that really becomes important. And they're saying that what you do here, how focused you are, how steady you are, how diplomatic you are, okay, is going to lead you down to down the road where you would want to come to. Okay, the outcome that you would want and to succeed. So they're saying that it's very important to maintain a level of excellency. They're saying to make sure that certain values are maintained throughout your years growing up into adulthood. Because they're saying the thing is most that they're saying like the crowd, like generally people, it's like they expect to be shown how to get into adulthood, and they're not sure how to do that, and they rely on friends who they're saying who appear to know how to do that, but obviously they don't either. And so they're saying it's like friends rely on one another to sort of bring them into adulthood. But they're saying that you're very intuitive and your guides are bringing you into adulthood. They're also saying that you've had a lot of past lives that you can rely on as well, where you're not a child really. Okay, they are saying that yes, you are a crystal child. They are confirming that even these things like I feel, I don't know if I mentioned this part, but I do feel like you have some creative gifts, some more on the artistic side, that you have some creative, emotional, intuitive gifts, and also very nature inclined, and a bond with animals. That's something that keeps coming in. And also a kind of natural openness, but at the same time, there is a feeling of groundedness. okay, that your guides definitely produce, and also coming from your mother as well, and that they approve of this grounded feeling. But these things, this connection to earth and a bond with nature and animals, openness, and and creative gifts. This all points to crystalline energies, very much so, and also your age. So you being the age that you are and having these certain gifts that are coming up, and these certain energies that are coming up, that would definitely indicate that you're a crystal child, but your guides are indicating that. Okay, but this is coming up again, which this is one of the things that popped up at the very beginning for me. um, when I read that question, if you were a crystal child, I had this star seed kind of feeling coming in. And even with these guides that are around, there was a star seed kind of feeling. Okay, yeah, and I forgot about that too. There was this second of like a feeling of like a bear, and now that's coming in again. Okay, so this feels like it could be somewhat of a guide, so maybe a power animal, because it also feels like a totem. I feel like you have more than one power animal though with you. Like you have multiple power animals kind of equally with you. That there's a lot of animal energies around you, because that's just something that you're drawn to, and they're drawn to you as well. Okay, so let's see. The bear is emblematic of grounding forces and strength. Okay. It's been worshipped throughout time as a powerful totem, inspiring those who need it the courage to stand up against adversity. It's an animal in touch with earth and the cycles of nature, and it's a powerful guide to support physical and emotional healing. Okay. Primary meaning of the bear is strength and confidence, taking action and leadership, standing against adversity. It's a strong support in times of difficulty. It provides courage and a stable foundation to face challenges. When the bear shows up as a spirit guide in your life, it's perhaps time to stand for your beliefs or your truth. This power animal will provide for support and strength. It's also a guide to take leadership in your life or in other people's lives. It's feared and admired for its strength. Its presence inspires respect. Its strength and powerful stature will inspire you to step into a leadership role in your life and take action without fear. So this definitely feels like a guide coming in. This feels like more of a power animal versus a totem. So a power animal is basically an animal that is like with you and guiding you. But again, most people just have one normally. But again, with you, I feel like you have multiple ones. I'm feeling a snake as well. Coming in. And again, a feeling with the snake of being grounded and also of being fearless. Snakes kind of produce a lot of fear in some people. So there's also a feeling of being fearless, letting go of things, passing out of fears, passing through fears. Even with the cardinal, when it was talking about finding its song, and it was talking about courage as well. So there's this feeling of stepping into who you are, stepping into your presence and your power. That is something that needs to form. Um, and that is forming slowly but surely, but your guides want you to almost take a more active part in finding out who you are, like through meditation, and self-reflection, and even going to them and trying communicating with them as well. These angelic energies that you have around you, and even the spare that you have around you, the bird that you have around you. Because they're saying that that is really important as well, to feel like a solid foundation. And your guides can give you that. Your guides are definitely sending that. And that's something, again, they're using this word intrinsic to them. So that's something that is very much part of their essence and just comes to them naturally, or is part of them naturally. So it's part of their core, they're saying. And these calm responses that they have to situations. So they're saying part of taking leadership, part of being able to set boundaries, say no to things, all of this comes from a feeling of strength, an inner knowing and power, an inner trust in your own guidance, because you know who you are. And so it's all about developing an inner knowing of who you are, who is your spirit, who is Crystal Heart, and that you need to get in touch with that. So they're saying it's not, even though it's good to know what you're doing, where you would like your life to lead in some ways, because even though you're saying, what's my purpose in life? Still, throughout the reading, there has been this feeling like you know what your interests are. And there is a feeling of a direction that you might want to go down. And that even that there might be more than one path that you could take, or more than one area of interest. But they're saying it's not just about knowing what you want to do or what you want to be when you grow up, or having some form of action with that, or beginning to formulate that, or wanting to. It has to be about this desire to know who am I? And they're saying, am I trustworthy? Can I trust my intuition? Because they're saying you're going to trust your own feelings more when you feel a solid foundation of I know who I am. And they're saying, and my purpose is forming. So this is something that's forming, but they're saying that it has to form around who you are, and not only where your interests lie. Even though they're saying that that's a big part of it, and like they were saying, they approve of that, but this desire of who I am, they're saying that you have to admit that in some ways you're not connected with who you are to even ask that question. So they're saying that's a big question, and that most people don't want to go there. And they're saying especially not when they're young. When they should really be stepping into meditation and really valuing the art of self-discovery and knowing the self and finding out who am I, who you are, and the unique way that you have of operating. They're saying because it's a fearful place, and a lot of young people already have fears. Yeah, like the snake was saying, that they are passing through, hopefully. that they are passing through, and that's being released. Your guides are saying, even like how a lot of teenagers like to watch horror movies, or they like to watch shows that are violent, or movies that have a lot of violence or a lot of horror, um, and action in a way that's kind of violence oriented, fighting oriented. They're saying even this is because of fears that they need to release. And they're saying seeing it on screen almost helps them to release it. They're saying, though, your guides are saying, though, that the problem is that they don't know that. They don't know that they're trying to find a way of release. They're not aware of that, and so they don't end up releasing it anywhere near the degree that they would if they actually really looked at that and tried to go inwardly and actually remove it through meditation and other spiritual techniques, and even just facing fears. So they're saying they don't know how to release it, and they're not even aware of the desire that they have inwardly to release it. Even though they're actually attempting to act on it in ways that are acceptable, and in ways where they don't really realize that that's what they're trying to do. So they're saying if they knew that, if they acquired that knowledge, what I'm really seeking is a release from my fears, not to give in to them. They're saying then they wouldn't give in to them so much. Then they wouldn't give in to peer pressures. Then they wouldn't be veered off of the path. And then they wouldn't be so confused. They would be more focused. And even if all the answers didn't come to them right away or immediately, they would know, okay, but I'm on the path. Even if I veer off of it a little here and there, even if I have some confusion here or there, I'm not veering off of it greatly. I'm staying on it. And I still have this rough idea of what it is. And mainly I just feel, even if, again, like I said, I don't logically know all the answers mentally or even emotionally, but if I can feel intuitively where I'm being pulled at any given moment and what I'm being guided to do, I know that I'm moving forward on my path to where I ultimately want to end up, because I'm letting my spirit guide me. But again, they're saying that you have to get in touch with what your spirit is. And your spirit is energy, and energy is connected to everything. It's connected to everyone. It's part of all that is. So they're also saying that it knows everything because it's connected to all knowledge. So they're saying, so certainly your real self, your reality, your higher self, your soul, your spirit, whatever you want to call it, your higher guidance, certainly it knows best for you. And it is you. So they're saying, so you have to get in touch with that. And how do you get in touch with that the most? They're saying that is what is really important. They're also saying that you can use, you can actually use nature to do that. You can use your connection and your bond to nature to do that. Just like these animal totems coming in, right? And they're helping to guide you. But in a sense, your guides also help you to find aspects of yourself. And in a sense, they exude parts of you and parts of yourself. But especially with the animal totems, I really feel that. They're revealing aspects of your own self through coming in this way. And an animal totem, this is something your guides are wanting me to say. An animal totem, it doesn't have to be something that just comes to you in meditation, like it's coming to me now in a reading. Like sometimes I'll be walking down the street and all of a sudden I see this crow, and it just strikes me intuitively, like, okay, this has some kind of message for me. It might be an animal that you don't normally see all the time, Or it might just be some animal that all of a sudden one day you just see this animal just 4 times in a row, you know. This is an animal totem, or just one that just strikes you all of a sudden. Maybe it looks at you, or you just get a feeling about it, or maybe even something it's doing. It's doing something weird, and so you're noticing it. This, a lot of times, can be an animal totem. And then you just pop out your phone and just look up, you know, the animal totem. What's the message? And it can really be any animal. I mean, it can be an insect as well. You can have an ant totem. You can have a bee totem or a butterfly totem. Just like you can have any other totem, a frog or a deer or a hawk or whatever. So they're saying that they don't want you to be limited. They want you to be free. But at the same time, they want you to be logical and to have a structure, and that there is that balance. And then also at the same time, and primarily, they want you to develop trust in your intuition, and to develop your intuition as well. Because they're saying that you certainly have a gift for listening to yourself, for being able to sense who you are and go into meditation and hear yourself. They're saying that everyone does. Everyone naturally has that. And they're saying, and hopefully exudes it. But they're saying the only way that you can exude it is to begin the practice of it, to begin developing it and mastering it. And they're saying that it's very good to do that at a young age, to do it in the early stages, and to begin meditating now. And they're saying even chakra work now. But again, they're saying you can incorporate nature with this. So like, for instance, they want you to feel more grounded and to feel more connected to yourself and more of a foundation. So you can call on this bear power animal that you have, for instance, and you can either go outside, or you can even do it in your house and just visualize that you are outside. You're meditating outside and you're feeling the ground. There are a lot of techniques that you can use to feel grounded. There's one where you see light coming from the sky. You visualize light coming from the sky, and it's going through the top of your head, and it comes down, and then it goes down to your feet, and out of your feet come these tree roots down and down, and they're connecting into the core of the earth. So there are a lot of ways that you can draw nature energies into yourself to help you with finding yourself and to help you become more they're saying to feel more powerful, or powerfully aware of yourself, or aware of your own power, your own inner power. So your true power. To be aware of that, to develop courage and confidence and self-knowing. They're saying that these are all really important themes for you right now, to really develop a deep self-knowing and self-awareness and confidence and calm, tranquility. They're saying that you know who you are to a degree, but at the same time, they're also saying that every person knows who they are to a degree, and that you're at this stage where you can choose to come into contact with who I am, who you are, in a very tremendous way. They're saying like an overly high way, over the normal amounts of I know who I am to a degree, which everybody has, and they're saying especially which every old soul has, like you are. So they're saying, of course, you're going to have that to a degree, and even to a higher degree than a lot of people would at your age, just because you are an older soul and you have had many lifetimes where you've already experienced these sorts of struggles and things. And they're saying also because you had a lot of support around you with your group of guides, and even your family as well, parents and these energies, and especially this mother energy has come up a lot during this reading. Okay, this is coming up again. This came up for a second a while back, but then the reading moved on so quickly that I didn't even get to mention it. But earlier when they were talking about school, and they even said in a diplomatic way, to operate as well in a diplomatic way if you wanted to get to the outcome that you really want to obtain. And there was this feeling all of a sudden of teachers, and that's coming in again, to almost be diplomatic with teachers, that like when you know, okay, if I conduct myself in this way, I am going to get a better grade. Teachers are going to feel better about me. They're going to like me more. They're going to respect me more. They're saying not in a manipulative way, in a smart way, in a diplomatic way. And they're saying, and to get ahead, you have to know how people are seeing you, how you are influencing their perspective of you, because they're saying that they're going to have a perspective of you, but they're saying that you are in control to a degree, not completely. You can't help someone being, a a jerk, right? You can't help that some people are going to have a negative perspective of you because they have a negative perspective of themselves. But at the same time, you can approach people in a certain way and know how you are influencing their perspective of how they're going to see you. But they're saying, again, to be selective with friends, so they're not really speaking so much about peers and things like this, although certainly to a degree that comes into play. To be respected by others, and included in the right group, certainly. But they're especially speaking about teachers, the principal, things like this. People who can, in a sense, help you get ahead. They can help you when they see that you are attempting to be a good student and to strive towards goodness as far as studies and the way that you're acting, the way that you're behaving. They're going to want to help you more. They're going to want to give you a better grade. Even if you were to not get every answer right, if they see that you are striving in a positive way, not in a stressful way, they're saying, but in a positive way, you're striving, you are attempting to do well and to excel, they're going to reward that, unless, again, they're just a jerk and you can't really control that or help that. But again, they're saying that you do have control to a degree when it comes to how you influence teachers' perception of you and other people's as well. And people in authority and people who could help you get ahead. They're saying behavior has a lot to do with it. Homework, they're saying, and doing assignments and things like this, they're saying has a lot to do with it, as you know. That they're saying that even the way that you come across to people and your intelligence, which they're saying you have a lot of this influences how teachers see you, how professionals see you, how people in authority see you. And they're saying that this is important to note. and to understand this for later in life as well, that you do have this degree of control with most people when it comes to influencing their perception of you. You can influence that. They're saying to a high degree, but they're saying even to a low degree with people who are normally kind of jerks, or maybe they're in a bad mood or having a bad day or something. And they're also saying being amiable and being good-natured, being resourceful, that these are all things that people notice. And again, they're saying to think about who is noticing you in a good way, in a way of like people in authority who can help you. And this isn't just about now. This is also about later on, and learning this gift, learning this talent or this skill, learning to operate in this way is going to help you to get ahead. They're saying to strive to do well, but they're also saying to almost learn how to speak in a confident way, in a direct way. Intelligence, they're saying you have down. They're saying they're saying that this will come naturally as you develop this inner trust for your intuition, because you can feel somebody's energy, right? And you can see, okay, well, if I speak to them in this way, they're going to feel that way about it. And somebody who does have intuitive gifts, like you do, someone who does have more of a developed intuition that they can tap into, this will come pretty easily, but they're saying that you have to trust it. You have to allow it through, and you have to trust it. And they're saying that saying the right things is just part of following your intuition, and learning to allow it to guide you. So it's not being manipulative. It's simply allowing your intuition to guide you, so you say the right things. It could be in the way of comforting others. Again, it could be in the way of influencing how someone is going to interact with you, or how they're going to see you as far as their perspective of you. Are they going to see you as someone who can get things done? Are they going to see you as someone who can take this job? Or are they going to see you as someone who couldn't really handle it? Or etc. So they're saying the way you dress, the way you come across, the way you speak, the way you act and behave towards everyone, but especially those who have some position to offer you help or to offer you a leg up. They're saying that this is an important skill to have. So that they're coming back to this spontaneous thing, okay? Because I'm realizing in some ways these were linked, as they were saying, hey, if you want to have an exciting, adventurous life, then do it. Be spontaneous, be free, and at the same time be logical but fearlessly. So even with this idea of you can influence to a degree how people are going to perceive you, and even to a high degree. And so you can get things that you want, like what the Cardinal was saying. Well, the message here with a lot of this is simply that you have more control over your life. You have more control of your life and of the direction that it is headed in than you've been thinking, they're saying. that you actually have a very high degree of control. It really depends on you. Can you connect to your intuition? And to not rely on outside sources, to realize it is up to me and I can depend on myself. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get help. Even they were talking about um, uh, influencing the perspective of people who can help you get a leg up. Um, the perspective of how they're going to view you. So they're not saying that you're not going to help them, that you're not going to have help, and they're saying that even with them, you obviously have a huge amount of support and help from your team of guides here, and also family help that I definitely feel around you. So there are already people in higher places who are helping you to get a leg up, and they're saying to take comfort in that. But at the same time, they're saying don't be in a comfort zone, take risks, and to follow your heart. But you have much more control over your life than you think. Okay, so our time is up, and that is all that they have to say for now. So thank you very much, Crystal Hart, for allowing me to do this reading for you. And thank you to your mother as well, if she sees this reading or not. Thank you very much. And I truly hope that this benefits you. Thank you so much. Namaste.